Friday in Salem doesn't fade into the weekend, it erupts. What begins as a day of departures quickly spirals into betrayal, confession, and one shocking discovery that could upend every storyline in town. Holly's heartbreaking goodbye sets tragedy in motion. A familiar thief resurfaces to strike the DiMeras where it hurts, and Sarah stumbles onto a revelation that will leave Salem reeling. Every secret kept this week begins to unravel tonight. So buckle up, Days fans, because this episode isn't about peace. It's about exposure, retribution, and the kind of truth that never comes without destruction. Morning breaks over Salem, quiet and golden, yet the light feels heavy, like it already knows what's coming. Inside Holly Jonas's bedroom, the air is thick with perfume, nostalgia, and heartbreak. Her suitcase lies half open, filled with clothes that smell like home and regret. France is waiting, her mother's promise of safety and distance. But to Holly, it feels less like freedom and more like exile. Ari Horton stands in the doorway, holding a photograph of the two of them as children, smiling, carefree, untouched by the pain that now defines their world. "You don't have to go," Ari says, her voice trembling. "We can fix this. You and Tate." Holly cuts her off. There's nothing left to fix. Her words are quiet, but they carry the weight of someone much older than her years. "Every time I see him, I remember what I lost. I can't breathe here anymore, Ari." It's the kind of heartbreak that Days masters, not dramatic, but devastating in its simplicity. Holly reaches for her friend's hand. "Please, promise me you won't tell Tate. Let me go on my own terms." Ari nods through tears. "I promise." Cut to Tate, pacing restlessly on the town square, calling again and again, each unanswered ring deepening his panic. By the time Ari finally cracks and confesses, Holly's plane has already taken off. Through the clouds, Salem grows smaller, but the ache in her chest only grows larger. She stares out the window, whispering a goodbye that no one hears. And back on the ground, Tate's world shatters in silence, proving once again that in Salem, love doesn't end with words. It ends with absence. Elsewhere in Salem, thunder rumbles in the distance, a fitting soundtrack for what awaits inside the DiMera mansion. Chad DiMera strides toward his office, still replaying the pain of recent days. But when he opens the door, he stops cold. The safe is cracked open. Folders spilled across the floor. Contracts ripped. Cash gone. It's not just theft, it's humiliation. A message written in chaos. Chad's pulse quickens. Who the hell did this? He slams the laptop open, scrubbing through the security footage. The image glitches, then freezes, and the face that appears makes his stomach drop. Leo Stark. The smile, the arrogance, the flair for chaos. Leo's back, and he's not working alone. Standing beside him is Javi, the enigmatic newcomer who's been charming his way through Salem's social circles for weeks. Chad leans closer, watching the two men laughing as they load boxes into a car. "You've got to be kidding me," he mutters. This wasn't random. The stolen files include the Titan DiMera merger documents, and buried inside, confidential plans tied directly to EJ's next power move. Chad's hands tighten into fists. "This isn't a robbery," he growls. "It's a declaration." The camera cuts to Leo and Javi celebrating in a dim motel room, champagne in hand. To chaos, Leo toasts. And to Salem, may it never stay quiet for long. For longtime fans, this is the spark that reignites an old fire. Because in this town, every crime hides a vendetta. And when the DiMeras are targeted, revenge always comes swift and bloody. At University Hospital, the fluorescent lights hum above Sarah Horton Kuriaki's, but her mind is louder. The folder in her hands feels heavier than it should, as if the paper itself is warning her. She flips through the DNA results again. The numbers are clean, the data precise, yet nothing fits. Something inside her whispers, "It's wrong. It was always wrong." Her heels click sharply down the hallway as she retraces the chain of custody. Every step, every test, every signature. But one name keeps appearing in the margins, Aaron Green. She stops, her breath catching. The man everyone dismissed. The quiet observer who was too helpful, too calm. Kayla Johnson appears behind her, concern etched on her face. Sarah, what are you doing? You've been buried in that file for hours. Sarah turns, eyes blazing with the kind of conviction that only truth can ignite. I'm looking for what Sophia didn't want us to see. Kayla folds her arms. Be careful. Salem has a way of punishing people who dig too deep. Sarah's voice steadies. Then let it punish me. Because someone switched the samples, and I think I know who. Kayla's eyes widen as Sarah spreads the files across the table, every page connecting like puzzle pieces. The timelines, the lab notes, the missing initials, all roads lead to one name. Aaron, Sarah whispers. He's the father, not Tate. The room goes still, no music, no dialogue, just the sound of realization cutting through the air. Kayla finally speaks, barely above a whisper. Then you've just uncovered a lie big enough to destroy everyone involved. Sarah looks down at the report, her hands trembling, her resolve unshaken. Then I guess it's time Salem learned the truth. The night settles heavy over Salem, the kind of night where secrets finally start to breathe. Inside the Brady pub, 3 lives intersect over half-empty coffee cups and unanswered questions. Brady Black sits at the head of the table, eyes sharp, restless, and burning with suspicion. Johnny DiMera leans forward, frustration etched across his face, while Chanel Dupree watches them both, her voice calm but her heart racing. Tell me again, Brady says, his tone low. The social worker just happened to find something wrong with your file the same week Sophia's DNA test came in? Johnny nods, sliding a folder across the table. And here's the financial record that doesn't match. The agency received a donation under her name, but the account number traces back to a DiMera subsidiary. Chanel adds, the paperwork was altered too. The dates, the stamps, everything was adjusted after submission. The realization spreads between them like wildfire. This wasn't coincidence. It was orchestration. Brady sits back, jaw tightening. She played us. Every one of us. Johnny slams his fist lightly against the table. Then we play her back. Chanel hesitates. If we expose her, this won't just ruin her. It'll tear apart half the town. Brady's expression hardens. Then let it burn. The truth doesn't end wars in Salem, it starts them. The 3 exchange a look, equal parts fear and resolve. For the first time, Days fans see an alliance not born of friendship but necessity. 3 people with nothing left to lose, and everything left to reveal. And as the lights of the pub flicker, so does the first spark of a reckoning that could consume them all. The final act unfolds under the dim glow of the town's park lights, the same place where so many young hearts in Salem have broken before. Ari Horton waits, her hands shaking, when Tate Black appears, his face pale, his anger barely contained. You knew, he says, his voice trembling. You knew she was leaving, and you said nothing. Ari tries to speak, but emotion strangles her. She made me promise, Tate. She said she couldn't stay. She needed to get away before she broke. Tate's laugh is bitter, sharp. And you just let her? His eyes glisten, rage giving way to sorrow. You let her walk away without a word? Ari's tears spill over. I thought I was helping her. I thought she'd come back someday. Tate turns away, staring at the empty horizon as if he might still catch a glimpse of her. She was my whole world, he whispers. And now she's gone. Their silence is deafening. 2 friends standing only inches apart, yet worlds away. Cut to the sky, Holly's plane slicing through the night. She stares out the window, the city lights below flickering like dying memories. Goodbye, Salem, she murmurs, her voice barely audible. In a haunting montage, the camera drifts across town, Sarah gripping her file, the truth burning in her hands. Chad staring at the empty safe, vengeance brewing in his eyes. JJ sitting beneath a lone lamp at the precinct, wondering if purpose still exists. Each character carries their own form of loss, love, loyalty, or illusion. And the question that ties them all together: how much truth can one heart survive? Friday's episode ends not with resolution, but reflection. Because in Salem, every goodbye is only the start of the next disaster. And that's Days of Our Lives, Friday, October 10th, the day that tore Salem apart in silence. A farewell that broke a heart, a heist that reignited an old feud, and a revelation that will change every story moving forward. Holly's escape closes one chapter, but Sarah's discovery opens another, darker and far more dangerous. Chad's anger grows, JJ's doubt deepens, and a storm is building that no one will see coming. So tell us, Days fans, when the truth finally explodes, who will survive the fallout? Comment below and stay tuned, because next week, Salem burns.